Hey guys, how's it going? Didn't really want to make this video, but I figured I should just to explain a little bit of context of what went down. Obviously the videos you saw, the last 3 videos from last week, those were filmed while Oreo was still alive. Now that I'm filming this, it's actually, she's just a mess. She doesn't know what the heck's going on, and she's lonely, and because like when I used to go to work, Oreo was here for her, right? And they used to play and stuff and do things and be 2 dogs or whatever the hell she is together. She's a cat, but sometimes I wonder. But she's really lonely, and yeah. So the reason why, like so I was getting messages on Facebook from people saying like, holy shit, like what happened? Like you said he was fine, and then all of a sudden you're posting that he passed away. Well, not the Saturday that passed. Right now it's Monday, so it's the weekend. It's the Monday after. It's been what, 4 days? No, it's Tuesday right now. Sorry, it's Tuesday. It's been about 4 days since he was put down. The Saturday night, so like a week ago from this past Saturday, he was fine. I went out with Joss. We went to a concert at Lou Dogs. I came home that night and his back was arched again, and I was like, oh boy, here we go. And like there's still a whole bunch of Javex poop on the floor. That's what started, was he would poop on the floor, but it was runny and it reeked like bleach. I looked it up and it said it could either be gut distress or renal failure. So I went through the whole questionnaire. How much water does your dog drink in a day? And he was clearing that bowl, which easily holds full this thing of water and then some. So this is a liter of water here. I can put 1.5 liters in that bowl and he would clear that in a day, which is a little bit excessive for a dog that size to drink over a liter of water. But he would clear it in a day and he wouldn't pee. Like he would go pee, but it wouldn't be he should have been pissing a lot more for the amount of water he was drinking. Saturday night, I'm laying in bed. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning and I get woken up to him screaming again. Now this happened back in April when I originally mentioned like, Oreo's not doing well, we're gonna have to put him down. And then he turned, like the video ode to Oreo, I actually made that back in April because I had him scheduled for euthanasia on Thursday in April because it was the best they could do, because that office is super busy. They have people coming in there all the time and only 1 vet on site, and the guy's like super freaking busy all the time, every time. So I had him set to be euthanized, but then Tuesday he turned around and he was fine. I was like, oh, okay. So then I called them and said, cancel it. Like, my dog's good now. And they're the ones who told me. I said, okay, well, he might be okay now, but I'm telling you, he's going to drop again. And I said, yeah, I know. I heard about sundown syndrome. Like, basically, they get sick and then they get better, and then they get sick and then they get better. And he wasn't pooping in the house anymore after, this is back in April, by the way. He wasn't pooping in the house anymore. He was going outside. He had energy. I was able to take him for walks, and he went for walks. And then slowly over time in May, he started degrading again. Didn't want to go for walks. I'd take him out on the leash. We get to the end of the driveway and he would just stop and look around, and then he'd sit. And I'd be like, come on, buddy. And he just wouldn't come. So I was like, all right, let's go back in the house. So I put him back in the house, and that was that. And then early June, he started doing the pooping in the house a lot. And it was just puddles of mud. Like, it wasn't solid stuff. It was just pure milk chocolate. And then it started on Thursday where he was pooping in the house, and I was noticing redness in and it started smelling like Javex. Like bleach. I looked it up online. That's when I found out about the renal failure, and they were asking questions like, is your dog active? Does your dog get up? Does your dog move around? Does he? And literally all Oreo did all day was lay around. Like, I'd bring him upstairs when I'm working from home. He'd sit in the bedroom or in the computer room with me, and he would just sleep. And then I would get up and be like, come on, buddy, let's go outside. And he would just stare at me like he just didn't want to move. So I'd be like, come on, dude, come on. Finally, he would get up and come downstairs, but he had issues navigating the stairs. So I'd pick him up and carry him downstairs. And I was like, oh, this is not good. He can't do the stairs anymore. Like, it's degrading. Saturday night, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning to him screaming like he was doing back in April. And I don't mean like barking. I mean like he was just opening his mouth and yelling, like pushing all the air out as fast as possible to make as much noise as possible. So of course I wake up, I'm like, what the hell is that? Come running downstairs, and he's just laying there screaming. And I'm like, come on, buddy, it's okay. Like, I don't know what to freaking do. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. We can't really do anything for you. And I felt so bad. Like, it's like, you can't give him a Tylenol because that'll kill kill him. You can't give him Advil. That'll kill him. I don't know what to give him for the pain to calm him down. So I ended up calling the vet on Monday because that's when they're open. They're not open on the weekend, and I don't have an emergency vet number. I probably could have Googled it, but I just held out till Monday. So I didn't really sleep much Saturday night. Didn't sleep much Sunday night. Didn't sleep much Monday night. I haven't had a good night's rest until last night because of other things that were going on the weekend, which if anybody's on my Facebook, you know what was going on because I mentioned it. But we'll get into that into another story because that's a whole weird thing that happened that's pretty damn cool. So I called the vet on Monday and I said, listen, like, here's what's happening. My dog is pooping bleach. He's drinking like lots of water throughout the day because I would fill that bowl in the morning, get home from work, and it was dry. I'd fill it again. It was dry, and there was no pee in the house. He wasn't peeing. Well, he'd pee every once in a while, and he always peed right where Scampers is sitting, like right here. She follows me around like a shadow now, so that's cool. She'll actually sleep in bed with me too, which she's never done. Turns out she likes watching YouTube. She really likes watching Rust videos. She'll just sit there and stare at the screen all night. I don't think she sleeps. But back on target, the vet said, listen, you called back in April, like they had it on file that I called in about him. She's like, I honestly think it's time he's put down. It sounds to me like renal failure. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Like his kidneys are shutting down. She goes, no, I'm pretty sure they're gone. She's like, according to our stats here, he's 15 and a half years old. I said, yeah, that's correct. I was wrong on his birth date. I said it was January 21st when my ex registered him. She had him registered for birthday January 17th, 2009. And he was 6.9 kilograms going in. So despite the fact he wasn't eating food, somehow he was maintaining his weight. I don't understand, but okay. Because yeah, he didn't eat Saturday, he didn't eat Sunday, he didn't eat Monday, he didn't eat Tuesday. He had a little bit on Wednesday. That was it. Like you probably noticed, Oreo's food is still here, and I still have a half a bag down there. I don't know what to do with it. I might just toss it outside and let the raccoons have it. I don't know. But Scampers won't eat it because it's dog food, and she's a cat, even though sometimes I swear she's a freaking dog because she was raised by Oreo. He wasn't eating. He was drinking lots of water. He was lethargic. He was diarrhea dumping on the ground that smelled like bleach. And so I said, all right, when's the earliest we can get him in? And that's when she said Thursday. And I was like, all right, we'll go for that. I said, is there anything I can give him for the pain? And she said, you know, not really anything over the counter. The only option is we can prescribe something, but you'd have to bring him in for a checkup in order for us to do that. Getting him in the truck on Thursday was not easy because he was sore. He did lose it on me when I picked him up to bring him in. It was just like he went from being healthy to being completely shutting everything down so fast. I've never owned an animal that did that before. Like I've never owned an animal before. Like I had Felix and Poofy. You guys know Felix from the old vlogs. You've never seen Poofy because my ex gave him away to her friend a long freaking time ago. Like I swear he lived in this house for a year and a bit. No, he lived in this house for like 4 years, and then she gave him away. And he thought the cat was fat and didn't feed it, and poor thing starved to death, and he killed my cat, so that's awesome. But the cat wasn't fat, he was just really freaking fluffy. Long-haired Maine Coon, like they're big cats. Maine Coons are tanks. Anybody who's owned a Maine Coon, you know what I'm talking about. They're freaking tanks, they're beasts. Felix was a beast too, but that's because he ate anything you put in front of him, and he was fat. Felix was a fatty. So, but yeah, like I never had Felix when he passed away. I don't even know if he's still alive. Like I haven't talked to my ex since forever. I don't even know what's going on there, and I never even bothered messaging her or trying to find her new maiden name or her new married name to message her and be like, hey, just letting you know, like Oreo's passed away now, like he's gone. You know, she didn't care about the dog. When we broke up, she said either you take the dog or I'm gonna have him euthanized or I'm bringing him to the pound. You pick. And I'm like, wow, way to really friggin' put this in on me now, that if I don't take the dog, it's gonna be on my conscience that I killed him when he was a puppy. 2-year-old dog, and you want to put him down. Lovely. Or actually at the time he was 4 years old and you want to put him down. Lovely. So I took the dog. So Thursday was not a good day. Was not a good day. Holy. I worked in the morning. I told my manager, I'm like, listen, like I got to bounce at 3:10. I'm putting my dog down. Like it's done. I don't think he's coming back from this one. It's game over. He's gotta go to sleep. He's gotta cross that rainbow road, as I've heard many refer to it as. And that's when she tells me, she's like, I know what that's like because we just had to do it with our dog. Literally 2 weeks ago, she was scheduled for vacation because her dog's been sick too and kind of did sundown syndrome, came back and was back to normal. And she's like, one last hoopla with the dog. We're gonna go on vacation, take 2 weeks and just bring the dog somewhere and make it all about her, you know, like, oh, you want cheeseburgers, you want steak, you want want this, you want that, give her. And the dog died like 3 days prior to her going on vacation. Well, got sick and she had the dog put down because the dog was just like Oreo. Like, I had to carry Oreo out of here, put him in my truck because he was he would walk, but he would like stumble, like he was tripping over his leg. He just didn't have the energy to go. So I just picked him up, brought him in the truck. I put down a towel, but it didn't work. He still leaked shit on my passenger seat. So I got to clean that off somehow. It's kind of caked on there and baked on there, but whatever. It's a work truck, right? And then I carried him into the vet's office, and that's an experience I never want to experience again. Bringing them into the vet's office, paying them $600. I keep saying to kill my dog, and it's not right. It wasn't $600 to kill my dog. It was $600 to free him of his meat suit so he can go on to the next level of whatever's after this. And the only thing I took back from them, I didn't take any ashes. I just grabbed his collar. And yeah, having your dog lay on your lap while they give him enough anesthesia to knock out a horse is something else. It's something that once you experience it, you could probably take up acting, and if you need to trigger crying, just think about that. And I'm about ready to freaking start again. So that's fun. So yeah, needless to say, Thursday night I was a wreck. All day Friday I was a wreck. My manager was like, if you want, you can clock out early. And I'm like, you know what? If I was working in the office, I would definitely take you up on that offer, because let me tell you, I'm burning through shit tickets like crazy because I just use toilet paper for Kleenex as well. Why buy a box of Kleenex? I buy the softest toilet paper in the world. I buy Charmin Red. Works great for Kleenex, for blowing your nose. It's fine. So I just buy a shitload of toilet paper and go from there. But I was burning through a lot of toilet paper, wiping tears and blowing my nose. That if I was in the office, I'd definitely take you up on that offer. And if I had to be in the office, I probably would have called in sick today. And then she's like, no, I completely understand. She's like, you're all right? And I said, well, about as good as you can be. She knew what I was getting at. No, that's, no more dogs. No more. And the worst part about it is I posted Oreo on, well, you guys got the full video with the memories. There was a couple memories I left out that I wanted to put in, like later on when we were digging up the stump in the backyard and I found that horseshoe, and then Oreo was chasing the hose again, like he was doing it as an over 10 years old. He's still going after the water stream. I had some other videos I wanted to add to it, but I also didn't want to make the video too long. I wanted to make it just a little memorial for him. And the song at the end, I posted that to Facebook because a lot of people on Facebook know my dog, because I posted stupid amounts of pictures of Oreo doing some pretty crazy shit because, he was a weird little dog. A weird little dog that would learn real fast. Like, I'd be in the living room punching the punching bag and he'd come tearing around the corner and see me just laying fists into it. And of course he sees me fighting something. So what does he have to do? He's got to jump in there and start biting the bag. Like he's attacking it. He's like, well, if Dad's fighting this thing, it must be bad. I got to get in there and offer support. So he'd have my back. I've never seen a dog act the way he did and learn stuff as fast as he did. Like, to teach him to roll over. You guys saw where I just pointed to the ground, he rolled over. I taught him that in 10 minutes. Just by grabbing a piece of a cookie, like at the time he liked these, they look like the Temptations for cats, like these things. This isn't Temptations, but they look like Temptations, but for dogs they're called Caesar treats or Little Caesars or whatever. And I would just take one in my hand, get him to lay down, and then trace it around his head, and he'd roll over. And as he's doing the movement, I would just say roll over, and I just kept doing it for like 10 minutes. And then all I'd have to say to him is roll over. But then after I said roll over, I'd point right to the ground, and he associated my finger pointing down and me saying roll over to do that thing where you flop on your back and land on the other side. 15 minutes I had that dog rolling over. And I've tried this same technique I used with him with other dogs to get them to roll over. I couldn't get it to work, but for some reason with him, I could teach him stuff and he would do it. And he learned super fast. I don't know if it's a Pomeranian trait or if he just was a smarter dog than other Pomeranians. Maybe Pomeranians are good tricksters. I don't know. Even in puppy training, when we brought, like, where his vet was, up above, there's a puppy training academy where they do basic obedience and then you can do agility training. So we put him in the novice agility course, and he was afraid at first to go through the tunnel. And then I grabbed the tunnel. It was one of those stretchy tunnels there that you can stretch out long and aim it and stuff. So I shrunk it down to its smallest form and had him walk through it. And then I expanded it a bit and had him walk through it. Then I put the whole rung out and he just went through it because he knew he was safe to go through it. It wasn't going to hurt him. Same with going in the water. That was a bad mistake, mind you, but he was afraid of the lake because he didn't know what it was. So he saw me go in and I was fine. So then he put his paws in it. He realized he was fine. And then he was out there swimming around. The reason why that was a bad idea was I brought him out to my buddy's house who lives on the lake, and Oreo saw the lake and he went and jumped in. I didn't have a towel to towel him off. And let me tell you, Pomeranian thick undercoat equals big sponge. It took 3 days for him to dry out. And he got the G6 passenger seat nice and sopping wet because literally he was a sponge all day. I've never seen a dog pick up on things as quick as he did. And yeah, let me tell you, this house right now feels so empty. No more dogs. No more dogs. I never want to go through that again. Like, I know I'm going to have to go through it with her when she passes, but honestly, I don't think I can sit in a room and do what I did with him again. That's just way too much bullshit. But I figured I'd give you guys the rundown on what happened and why it was just all of a sudden, boom, Oreo's dead. When I never talked about how he was sick throughout the week. And like the videos I shot last week, or the videos you saw last week, I have I had a 2-week buffer, but I kind of, since his passing, didn't pick up the camera till now. And I did have some videos to shoot, but I wasn't in the right mindset to shoot them because I was literally bawling my eyes out like a friggin' 10-year-old bitch with a skin knee for the past 3 days. Well, Thursday, Friday, and the morning and Saturday for a little bit. And then I had to clean myself up and smarten up and friggin' realize that, you know, crying ain't gonna bring him back, and what's done is done, and we will cross paths again. But I'm 100% sure my dog is saving me a seat in Valhalla, because you know the rule for Valhalla, right? You can't enter Valhalla unless you go down fighting. And when the vet reached to grab him to bring him in the back to prep him for anesthesia, I said, listen, I have to come with you. And he's like, no, you can't. I said, if I'm not there, he's gonna get violent. And the vet's like, no, he'll be all right. Trust me, he'll be all right. And as he reached for him, I felt Oreo tense up, and I'm like, oh my God, like, he's gonna launch. He's gonna lose it. The vet picked him up and Oreo bit him in the face. So I knew it was gonna happen. So because Oreo bit the vet, he fought his final battle. He's in Valhalla. So we will meet again. He got his seat at the table. He better save some fights for me, for crying out loud. But yeah, I figured I should probably explain what transpired. And I know a lot of you guys posted as well that you had to put your dogs down too, and I can guarantee you probably went through the same thing I did, where your dog was fine 1 second and then a switch just flicked and your dog took a massive shit health-wise, and you had to make the call. And if you're like me, you sat with your dog, and it's probably one of the craziest feelings you've ever had emotionally. I know it literally kicked my ass. I didn't know if I was coming or going. And there's parts of my mind where I was like, I kind of want to sell my house because there's too many memories here, and just move on somewhere where there's no memories, a blank slate, and start fresh. But then I was thinking the memories weren't bad. The memories were good. Like, I had good memories with Oreo here. You know, some of the people that I've had in my life that have been in here have been kind of shit. But with the dog, the memories were great. Like, we had good times. We did things. We would go down to the waterfront, and he was a little chick magnet. We would go in the backyard and play. We would go for walks, come back here. He'd have a puppuccino, and I'd have an ice cream, you know, like stuff like that. We had good memories, you know, go on road trips, jump in the truck and just frig off places and stuff. Like, we did things. It wasn't bad memories. The only bad memory was when he got sick in the end. All of these things go through your mind once it happens, and you're just lost. And I know right now, like, she's lost. She's a different kitty cat right now. Like, before she wouldn't come and greet me at the door when I got home from work. She would just be doing whatever, either sleeping on the Bowflex, sleeping on the ab bench. One of the benches in the living room she'd be sleeping on, or she'd be upstairs on the stack of boxes, which now I guess I can relocate those to the garage, because honestly, they were there just to keep Oreo from jumping off the side or falling off the side of the stairs. And what I might do for her is buy one of those wooden cat tree things with the carpet and like the dangly stuff she can slap and all that. Put that up there instead, and that way there she can get a vantage point and look out the window at people down below and judge them from afar. I wanted to do that before, but the problem is with Oreo's eyesight, there was times where he did actually fall off of there on the little bit that is exposed. I caught him luckily mid-fall. I managed to scoop him and then put him down safely. But yeah, it got dangerous for him because like he couldn't, his only source of knowing where he was I think his snout, because his eyes were like looking through a glass of milk and he was deaf. So yeah, like he fell off the stairs like once or twice. And I was thinking about relocating the box and then putting them up like a barrier to prevent him from doing that. But then it got to the point where he was pooing everywhere. So I kind of, when I wasn't home, I'd isolate him to the kitchen. And when I was home, I kept an eye on him. He was always with me, and no more dogs. No more dogs. But now I'm like, this poor thing, she's alone all day for 8 hours while I'm at work. And then on the weekends, if I do stuff, she's alone. I'm like, she needs a buddy, but I don't want to get another animal. I don't really want to, but she needs a buddy. She needs somebody else that she can beat up on. So if you're wondering what I'm talking about, go look up Oreo and The Adventures of Oreo and Scampers. There's a video on there where these two are just scrapping. Like Oreo's just kicking the shit out of Scampers. Scampers is kicking the shit out of Oreo. Scampers is literally instigating all the fights. And then Oreo just finally loses his cool and goes to town on her. But he fights her like a cat. He uses his paws and starts slapping her around and stuff. And it's funny. But yeah, like now that she doesn't have him around, she gets really lonely. And it was like Thursday night. I'm in the bedroom. I never let the animals in the bedroom because like Oreo had a bad tendency of he'd be sleeping. I don't know what he was dreaming of. Probably chasing a chippy or something. He would just start twitching his legs and then he would get into a slight leg movement like he's running, and then he would go into a full gallop, get up and slam his face into the wall. And when you wake up at like 3, I seen him do it one day on the floor, and that's why I knew what happened, because like he was laying on the floor in the computer room on his side, and I could hear the sounds of something scratching the carpet, and it was his paw. And he was in full gallop, and he just got up, went full tilt like a Peterbilt right into the friggin' sliding closet door, and then just sat there all dazed and confused and looking around the room. And he looks at me, and I'm like, "You all right, buddy? Like, you got Bobo? Are you okay?" And then he just come over with his derpy little face, tongue hanging out his mouth, and looking at me like, "Hi, Dad." I used to wake up in the middle of the night to a loud bang, and it was him just going full tilt into the wall, or launching off the bed into the wall, or launching off the bed into the door, or yeah, like. Because of that, I was like, yeah, I can't have him in the room. I'm trying to sleep here. I got to work tomorrow, for God's sakes. And he's chasing chippies in his dreams and bringing it into fruition and reality and stuff. So, and Scampers, well, Thursday night, I opened the door and let her come in the room. And the whole night, she's sitting there kneading the bed. And all you can hear is the sounds of claws grabbing the blankets and stuff and pulling on them and letting them go. And it's like, clacky, 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 clacky. I'm like, holy cat, just pick a lane and fall asleep. And then she's walking around just purring. And let me tell you, black and white cats, if you own one, you know what I'm talking about. They purr so freaking loud. So she's like right in my ear. I'm like, oh, Jesus, I'm not sleeping tonight. And then finally I was like, screw it. And I put on YouTube, and it was Spoon Kid's Rust video. He had like a 4-hour video playing. And then she jumps over top of me and sits right in front of me, full attention. And I'm watching her head, and she's doing this, looking at the screen. I'm like, oh, is she going to attack my TV because stuff is moving? And then I realized she's never really seen television before. Like Oreo's seen television because we used to watch Star Trek and stuff together when I had the bed in the computer room. And then when I moved it into the other room, he would sit there at night and I put Star Trek on and he'd watch Star Trek and he loved it. And he used to watch it with Felix back in the day, the Star Trek Deep Space Nine or Star Trek Voyager. He liked them too. I put them on, he'd sit there and he would just stare at the TV and like it. She never got that experience. This is the first time her seeing TV, and it was a Spoon Kid video. And what is this little meathead doing? Seriously, dude, I can tell you're there. You know that, right? Like, I can see it. Yeah, we know you're there. We know you're there. Yeah, we know you're there. But yeah, first thing she gets to witness is a Spoon Kid video. And because YouTube on Google Chromecast will just play whatever video comes up next, I have no idea what else she watched. But when I woke up in the morning, it was on a Cletus McFarlane video. And she was still just sitting there staring at the TV. So I'm like, holy crap, I don't think my cat slept all night. I think she just consumed a bunch of television. So I was like, all right, whatever made her happy. And then Friday night, I let her back in the room, put on TV, and she just sat there and watched it again. So cool. Like she likes watching television. It got her to stop pacing. It got her to stop doing stuff. So I've been almost tempted to come down here and turn on the 5K or the 4K 55-inch that I never use and just putting it on YouTube and letting it play whatever videos. And then she can just sit there on the floor and watch television all day. It'll give her something to do and something to you know, while I'm not home, something to keep her company, because I look on the Humane Society at the cats and I'm like so tempted just to drive over there one day after work and get her a buddy. But then I'm like, will they get along? Will there be a good integration? Can I just bring the cat into this house and they're not going to scrap and the new cat's going to kill Scampers because she's just a little minion? I don't want to deal with a toxic environment. So yeah, no. I lucked out. Like when Scampers came into the house, Oreo loved her since day one, picked her up, brought her over to his food bowl, showed her where his food was, where the water was, went into his toy box, grabbed her a toy. She didn't give two shits about that. She was just more curious about, wow, this room's big, because she was just like the size of a hamster. Oreo tried to play with her a bit, like not rough, but he was like pawing at her to see if she'd play back. And then he didn't know what to do, so he just kind of like laid down and let her climb all over him. And they were buddies since day one. It was like the easiest integration I ever had with an animal. Because I remember when Oreo first came into this house, when my ex picked him up in Lister, I had no idea she got the dog. That's a whole other story. That's here's $400 for groceries, and then I come home and there's a barking puffball at the door, and I'm like, what the hell's this? And she's like, oh, I got a dog. It's better to ask forgiveness than permission, or some shit like that. And I'm like, holy, like this is a big thing. This is a life form. It's not like buying a car or buying a pair of shoes. You got to look after this thing. And she's like, oh, I'll do everything for it. I'll let him outside to go to the bathroom, and I'll buy his food, and blah 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 blah. That lasted 3 weeks, and I became full responsible for the dog. So, and he literally lived in his crate when I wasn't home, which was really upsetting. The videos you watched last week were actually, I guess, 2 weeks old, and I'm pretty much out of buffer space as of this. So, and the whole reason why I built that 2-week buffer is because I knew this day was coming for him. And I knew that once he went down, I would be just too mentally damaged to pick up a camera and talk to it. So that is where we were. Yeah. So anyway, guys, any questions, comments, concerns, down below they go. Hopefully now you understand what happened and why all of a sudden, boom, Oreo video. Like I said, I made that video back in April. I had it uploaded to the channel, set to go live on the day of his being put down, on the time of him being put down, so it kind of coincided with the time. And then he got fined, so I put the video on unscheduled and just left it on the channel. Just left it there because I knew I was going to need it. I just didn't know when. And then I realized it's useless because I had the date set for April, and he actually got put down in June 27th. So I was like, delete the video, open up Vegas, change the date, re-render, upload to YouTube. And the other reason why I made that video was because you guys have known Oreo almost as long as I've known Oreo. Oreo came into this house April 28th, and his first video debut was in the summer with Oreo and the Hose. And that was on the old Skaven channel, not even on Vlogging Life. That was back on my first channel that Oreo got debuted. And my first video I ever recorded with a video camera that I bought for $1 cent from Best Buy, because the client returned it without the power adapter, but it charges off of regular USB. So you don't need a power adapter. You just plug it into your computer with a Type A to Type mini USB, and it charges the camera. So I got a camera that didn't even need a charger. So yeah, first video was him. And I was like, maybe I should make the last video him. But no, because he wouldn't want that. He'd want me to try and figure out ways to make you guys entertained without him on videos. We're going to keep on keeping on and see what we get up to. Life is definitely going to change. Things are going to change. Obviously, you know, I miss my little buddy, but with him getting older and his body slowly failing, it was harder to find people to look after him, so I could do less. With him passing, I can now do more. Like it's not good to do, but I can leave the cat alone on a weekend and go like on a Saturday or something, and like Rex is like, oh yeah, there's a car show in Toronto, I'm just going to go down in the morning, we're going to come back at night. I can be like, yeah, I can do that. Just make sure the cat has a full tank of food, full tank of water, a clean shit box, and roll. You know, and grab the camera and go film a car show in Toronto, you know. On a weekend, I can go down to London and visit the guys again. See what's going on down there. Everybody, oh, is Rickham still alive? Well, last I heard, he's working at Canadian Tire. I could be wrong. Maybe it's Home Depot. But he's got a job now. A lot of people are like, oh, he doesn't upload videos anymore. Well, he's a busy guy. Let him be. People are like, oh, is Bloke dead? No, I just talked to him like 2 weeks ago. The guy's fine. Don't worry about it. Everything's good there. So go down and visit those guys and see what's going on. And, you know, it just means I can get out more now. I'm not stuck to the house. But you know what? I would trade up the liberty to have my dog back. I honestly would. I would really like to come home to that stupid little face again, you know? And it's never gonna happen. What can you do? Just gotta keep moving forward. It's the only option. It is the way. Anyway, guys, before I friggin' trigger the tears here, I got martial arts in 20 minutes. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you understand what happened and all that. I'm going to go and compose myself so I can go and swing sticks at people's faces and other things. So thanks for watching. Like, favorite, comment. Don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, guys, peace the frig out. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.